Hey, so right now I'm going to be showing you how to add graphics to your Dmod. I'm going to open the folder of the Dmod we made earlier and open Dinkini. Now, right here, like near the top of this Dinkini, is a whole heap of lines that say load sequence now or just load sequence. These are examples of lines that load like sequences into the game. So here's an example of a line right here. It's got load sequence now, then it's got the path, then it's got the file, and what that's going to do is check that file and load the sequence of the files into sequence 109. So it's going to look for D-BA9-01, D-BA9-02, so on, 03, 04, 05, and load all them into 109. So I'll be explaining this anyway, but really what I want to explain to you right now is the difference between load sequence now and just ordinary load sequence. They both load the graphics into the game, but the difference is that load sequence loads the graphics when it's needed. A load sequence now loads the graphics immediately. So that's the difference there. I usually just use load sequence now just because I can, so I'm going to be using that. So right now I'm going to show you, I'm going to load a sequence of sprites into Dink edit and into my Dmod, or the Dmod we created. And as an example, I'm going to be using this table I created. It's an animation. Just created it for an example. You can use anything, doesn't matter. And you'll see it's table 01, table 02, table 03, 04, 05, and it keeps going right up to table 20. You can create this in Photoshop if you want to use the same sprite, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, so right now I'm going to use a load sequence, and like I said, I'm going to use load sequence now. Then after you do the load sequence now, you need to write the path of the graphic. So it's from in your Dmod directory, so the path would be graphics table B. So write that, graphics table B. Now there's an important thing you have to note here. Make sure you use a backslash. Okay, probably the most infuriating thing is when you use a forward slash in a load sequence now line and you don't know what your error is, and it's because you've used a forward slash. That's why it's not working. Make sure you use a backward slash. So we've got load sequence now, graphics table B, put another backward slash, and the file name is table 01, 02, 03, 04 all the way to 20. So we're going to just put table hyphen, and then it'll automatically check for that sequence of numbers. So right here, I'm going to go table hyphen and then a space. So we're automatically going to check for all the numbers automatically and load them into whatever sequence we put next. Alright, so right now I'm going to explain the numbers that go after the line that kind of like set all the stuff and set the sequence that you want to load it into. So the first number is the sequence, obviously, that you want to load the sprite into. So what you want to do for this is open Dink edit. We're going to do that now. Dink edit plus. Let me just. Whoops, wrong thing. Alright, open the Dmod that we're editing. And press E. Now you want to find an empty sequence. Don't use a sequence amongst like a sprite set of walk sequences or attack sequences or something. You want to use a sequence among other just like standalone sprite sequences. So the first free sequence that you can use is usually 99, I think. Go across till we get to 99. It's about there. Yep. So 98, 99 are free. You can see how this sequence is 97, and then you go across and it jumps straight up to sequence 101. That's because nothing is being loaded into sequence 98 and 99. So we're going to load my go back into here. I'm going to load this table into sequence 98. Okay, so we'll open a Dinkini, and the first number that you want to put is the sequence, so 98. That's the sequence that the graphics will be loaded into. And the next number after that is the frame delay. To play around with this until you get it right. I'm gonna use, say, 75, I suppose, something like that. But you can use whatever you want. Just play around with it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Just keep changing it until you get it right. So we've got. Let me just tab this up. Alright, so we've got load sequence now, the path, the sequence, the frame delay between the frames of the sequence, and then the next number you want to do is the x coordinate. So all the rest of the numbers are exactly the same as set sprite info. It's gonna be the x coordinate of the depth dot, the y coordinate of the depth dot, and then those 4 numbers that set the boundaries of the hard box, as we explained in the previous video. So I'm not going to explain all those again, simply because I've already explained them in the previous video. You can watch that if you want. So the easiest way to probably set this is to simply just leave the line like that and go and set it in Dink Edit. So save that. So you've got the sequence and the frame delay. We're going to close that. We're going to go into Dink Edit, close it and reopen it. And the sprite will be in there. There's the table. It's in sequence 98. And the depth dot may not be where you want it, and the hard box probably won't be correct. So you want to press Q and right click where you want the depth dot. I'm going to put it down here at the bottom of the table leg, and then you can set the hard box of the sprite like that. That's probably not like the best hard box, but it's just as an example. And if you set that there, okay, so after you've set the press Q and set the way you want it, what you really only did was set the hard box and the depth dot for frame 1 of this sprite, because you edited that frame. So to set the same depth dot and hard box info for all the frames, you want to go into the Dink ini. We'll open the Dmod folder and Dink ini. And you don't have to create 20 different set sprite info lines. That would really be a waste. I'm going to just tab this up under this. And really all you need to do is grab all the numbers after the sequence and the frame number, cut those, and add them onto the end of your loaded sequence line, and then delete that info line because you no longer need it. And that will, instead of setting that information for a certain frame, it will set it for the whole sequence. That's what it'll do if you put it after there. It'll set that information for every frame in sequence 98. So you'll see that if we go in here. If we grab one of these ones up here now and press Q, it's not working. That's because we need to reload Dink Edit. Alright, hang on. Let me just open Dink Edit again. Remember to close Dink Edit Plus. Reopen it when you're editing stuff. Okay, so now if we grab one of these, press Q, it's the same. It's the same as what we changed it to. So I'm going to put this on the map. Set the brain to 6. Save the Dmod and play with window and sound. Let's have a look if it worked. And there's the sprite. As you can see, I didn't set it to hard so you can walk through it. And it just it flashes red, and there's a frame delay of 75, I think it's milliseconds. Well, I doubt it's seconds, otherwise that'd take forever, obviously. Okay, so there, that's how to load a sequence. Just quickly go over that again. Go over all the numbers. So you got load sequence now, or you can use load sequence. Then you got the path. Then you've got the name, the file name. and then it'll automatically search for the sequence of frames, so it'll go table 01, table 02, table 03, etc. 04, 05, 06. Load them all into this sequence number 98, and then if it's an animation, it'll put this delay between the frames, so 75 milliseconds, and then you've got the sprite info. So that is loading graphics. I hope that was clear enough. If not, message me. I'll see what I can do. And thanks for watching. See you next time.